They didn't just uninvite me from the family reunion, they erased me, and they forgot one thing. You don't erase the person paying the bills. At exactly 7:14 p.m., my phone vibrated against the stainless steel counter of the nurse's station. Asterisk not. Loudly, not urgently, just enough to be noticed. Asterisk I glanced down, expecting something normal. A lab update, a shift adjustment, another life interrupting my own. Instead, I saw an email from my father. The subject line was polite, almost professional. Update. Regarding summer reunion. Asterisk I sanitized my hands, the sharp sting of alcohol burning my nose, and opened it without thinking. The message was short, painfully short, cold in the way only practiced indifference can be. Morgan. Due to limited capacity at the main house this year, we unfortunately can't accommodate you for the reunion weekend. Please make other arrangements if you plan to be in the area. Asterisk that was it. No apology, no explanation, no we'll miss you. I stared at the screen as the sounds of the hospital faded into static. Asterisk. The beeping monitors, the rolling carts, the distant overhead announcements. Gone. Because in that moment, something inside me went quiet. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't shocked. I wasn't even sad. I felt dismissed. Like a vendor whose contract had expired. Like a service no longer required. Asterisk and the irony? I wasn't a guest in that house. I was the reason it still stood. Asterisk standing there under harsh fluorescent lights. Something familiar took over. Asterisk, the same feeling I get during a code blue. Asterisk. When emotion shuts down. When panic becomes dangerous. When training replaces feeling. Asterisk, have you ever noticed how survival mode feels calm? That's what washed over me. Not rage. Not tears. Clarity. Asterisk, I didn't throw my phone. Asterisk, I didn't cry in the bathroom. I didn't type an angry reply demanding answers or respect. In my line of work, panic kills. Asterisk, when someone is bleeding out. You don't ask why. You stop the bleeding. You apply pressure. Asterisk, you cut if you have to. Asterisk, so I sat down on the vinyl stool. The faint squeak echoing in the quiet room, and unlocked my phone again. Asterisk this time. I didn't open my email. I opened my banking app. There it was, right where it had been for 5 straight years. Scheduled, automatic, untouched, $3,500. Asterisk labeled simply, asterisk main mortgage. Every month. No discussion, no reminder, just obedience. Asterisk that's $42,000 a year. Asterisk over 5 years. $210,000. I stared at the number. It didn't look like money anymore. It looked like a tumor. Asterisk something growing quietly, while convincing you it's necessary to survive. Asterisk for years. I told myself this was responsibility. Asterisk family duty. My father liked to call it legacy. He needed a cosigner for a renovation loan. Asterisk. $180,000. Roof. Decked electrical wiring. His credit was already wrecked after his 3rd failed business. Asterisk banks said no. So I said yes. I was the dependable daughter. The stable income. The flawless credit score. Asterisk I signed the papers. I set up autopay. I never questioned it. Asterisk because that's what love was supposed to look like. Asterisk right? Asterisk but standing there, staring into the cold blue glow of my phone. Something finally snapped into focus. Asterisk, there's a term for this. The sunk cost fallacy. It means you keep investing not because it's right. Asterisk, but because you've already invested. Too much to stop. I didn't keep paying because they valued me. I kept paying because I hoped one day they would. Asterisk, I thought I was buying belonging. Asterisk, I thought I was securing my seat at the table, but love isn't a subscription service. And you shouldn't have to pay monthly just to be tolerated. My thumb hovered over the transfer. Edit. Skip. Cancel. Series. I tapped cancel. The app paused. Asterisk. Are you sure you want to cancel this recurring payment? I didn't hesitate. My pulse didn't spike. My hands didn't shake. The line disappeared. Just like that. 5 years of obligation gone. Asterisk, clean cut. Surgical. I locked my phone and slid it back into my scrub pocket. Asterisk, I inhaled the familiar smell of antiseptic and stale coffee. Asterisk for the first time in a long time. I felt lighter. The anger would come later. I knew that. But in that moment, all I felt was the quiet satisfaction of a problem solved. They wanted me gone. Fine. Asterisk, but they forgot something important. Asterisk when you cut off the source. Asterisk, the lights go out. The reunion weekend arrived like a cold front, sharp, unannounced, unavoidable, and I stayed home. Not out of spite. Asterisk, not because I was sulking. Asterisk, I stayed home 22 floors above the city, surrounded by glass, steel, and silence. A fortress built with the fruits of my own labor. Asterisk, money I earned saving lives, not inheriting a gilded title. Asterisk, I made tea, letting the ceramic mug warm my palms, and for a brief moment I let myself breathe. Asterisk, then, almost instinctively, I did the one thing I knew I shouldn't. I opened Instagram, not for validation, not for revenge. Curiosity. The human urge to touch a bruise and see if it still hurt. Asterisk, the first post was from my brother, Jared. Asterisk, he was standing on the expansive Atlantic-facing deck, the very deck I had wired $45,000 into reinforcing 3 years ago. When my father's credit card failed. Asterisk, family time is the best time. He shouted into the camera, a beer in one hand, the wind catching his hair like he owned the world. Asterisk behind him. Asterisk, my mother, glass of Chardonnay in hand, laughing as if the last 5 years of my contribution never existed. Asterisk, my father at the grill, puffed up like a lord on his estate. Asterisk, cousins, aunts, uncles' faces blurred by the sun. All in motion, all complete, all without me. The scene wasn't just a party. It was a production. Asterisk, every laugh, every clink of glass, every staged picture perfect moment. Asterisk, I wasn't missing. I was unnecessary. The irony struck like a hammer. They were thriving because of what I had provided. Everything I had paid for, everything I had sacrificed, and my physical presence? Asterisk, apparently, that was the one cost they weren't willing to pay. Asterisk, I zoomed in on my mother's post. Asterisk, blessed to have this legacy for our children. Our children, plural. Only one child was there. Anger arrived quietly at first. Asterisk, not explosive. Not fiery. Cold. Steady. Clinical. It spread from my chest to my fingertips, grounding me. They were drinking wine on a deck I had paid for, sleeping under a roof I had insured. Asterisk, celebrating a legacy funded by my 12-hour trauma shifts. And my presence was invisible, irrelevant, expendable. I closed the app. I didn't comment. I didn't share. Asterisk, I observed. The silence in my apartment shifted. It was no longer lonely. It was pregnant with potential. They had erased me. Asterisk, but ghosts. Ghosts have a way of haunting the places they're denied, and I was about to become the most terrifying kind. The ghost who holds the deed. Monday morning didn't break with sunlight. It broke with panic. Asterisk. My phone vibrated 6:30 a.m., shrill. Against the quiet of my apartment. Brian. Again. And again. By the fourth ring, I answered. Asterisk. Morgan, what the hell is going on with the bank?
He barked. Asterisk. The mortgage transfer bounced.
You need to fix this immediately. I let the silence stretch for 3 seconds. It's not a glitch, I said. Asterisk. I canceled it. A pause. You? What? Asterisk. I'm done paying, I said. Calmly, his voice pitched higher. We have vendors. The caterer. The rentals. The checks clear today. If that money isn't there, we overdraft. I let it sink in. He wasn't panicking over the house. Asterisk. He was panicking over the party. The full realization hit me like cold water. He had been floating their lifestyle using my mortgage money. Asterisk, I could hear the weight of 5 years, the unseen. Hours, the sacrifices, the silent obedience crashing into the truth. Asterisk, that sounds like a problem. I said. Asterisk, but not my problem. Asterisk, you're being petty. He yelled. Asterisk, I know you're upset about the invite. But it was a logistical error. Susan felt terrible. We simply didn't have the rooms. Investors came first. You should understand, sometimes you take one for the team. I laughed. Low, humorless, dark. Take one for the team? I repeated. Asterisk, I've been funding the team for 5 years. I bought the uniforms. I built the stadium. And you benched me. You need us. He tried again. I laughed again. Asterisk, Dad. Look around you. The deck. The roof. The wine in your fridge. You are standing inside my charity.
Click. I hung up. Asterisk next. I called David.
A forensic accountant I trusted. A man who could trace hidden money with terrifying precision. Asterisk 2 hours later. The results came in. The house wasn't just a home. It was a luxury rental, asterisk $10,000 a week during peak season, booked solid, under Jared Ventures LLC, registered in Delaware. Asterisk revenue in the last 18 months. Over $150,000. None declared. None applied to the loan. Asterisk it wasn't neglect. It wasn't oversight.
It was theft. I stared out at the skyline. Steel and glass reflected the cold morning sun. Asterisk I thought of the email. We cannot accommodate you. I smiled.
Flat. Asterisk I'm just turning on the lights. I drove north. The city faded. Glass and steel became suburbs. Then endless highways. Then the rugged, pine-lined roads of coastal Maine. Asterisk. 4 hours of silence. No radio, no music, no podcasts, just the hum of the engine. Asterisk just the rehearsal in my mind of what was about to unfold. Asterisk by the time I reached the estate. The sun was beginning to dip, casting long bruised shadows across the gravel driveway. Asterisk 3 cars were parked. My father's SUV, my mother's sedan, asterisk Jared's convertible, the one I knew he couldn't afford. I didn't park in the guest spot. I parked directly in front of the garage, blocking them all in. Asterisk every step up the stone path I had paid to have. Relayed 2 summers ago felt like reclaiming territory. Asterisk the front door loomed solid oak.
Imposing. I pulled out my key, wondered briefly if they had changed the locks. Asterisk.
Arrogance is lazy. They hadn't. Click. The door swung open. The house smelled of stale wine and expensive candles. Asterisk the scent of entitlement. They were inside, lounging, relaxed, unaware. Asterisk Jared was on his phone, laughing. My mother flipping through a magazine. My father pouring a drink at the wet bar. Asterisk I paused at the threshold. Asterisk for a long moment. They didn't notice me. Asterisk and then silence. The weight of unseen authority fell over the room. Morgan, what are you doing here? My mother finally said, clutching her magazine like a shield. Asterisk. I have a key. I said, my voice flat. Asterisk. It's my house. Asterisk Jared scoffed. Lounging back. Asterisk you just cosigned. You don't own it. Asterisk I walked to the coffee table, deliberately. My steps measured. I dropped a thick manila folder onto the glass surface. The sound echoed like a gavel strike, like a judge declaring verdict. I am the primary financial guarantor. I said. Asterisk, and since the mortgage payment bounced yesterday because I canceled it, and since you've defaulted on the terms of the loan by running an unregistered commercial enterprise on residential property. Asterisk I paused, letting the words settle like stones in water. Asterisk. I am exercising my right to secure the asset. My father slammed his glass down. Commercial enterprise? What are you talking about? I opened the folder. The first page. A full-color printout of the Airbnb listing. Asterisk. The Cliffside Estate. Hosted by Jared Ventures LLC. Revenue. $150,000 last year. Not a single dime applied to the mortgage. Asterisk Jared. I said, locking eyes with him. Asterisk. That is fraud. You profited from my liability.
He turned white. It's just a side thing, helping with expenses.
Asterisk, helping with expenses? I repeated, voice steady, surgical, asterisk. You've monetized my credit. You've pocketed the profit.
That's
not help. That's theft. My father was red now, veins in his neck bulging, his posture desperate. You're trying to steal it from under us, he shouted. No, I said. I'm repossessing it. The air shifted from annoyance to fear. Asterisk they finally realized. I wasn't here to argue. I wasn't here to beg for forgiveness. I wasn't here to plead. I was here to foreclose on entitlement. Asterisk, you have until sunset. I said asterisk, pack what you can carry. The silence was deafening, heavy asterisk, the calm before a collapse. Asterisk, my mother was the first to break, not screaming, not yelling. She dissolved, tears welled, hands trembling, voice dropping to a broken whisper. Asterisk, Morgan. Please, you can't do this. We're your family. We just had a party. Where are we supposed to go? I don't know. I said, deliberate. Maybe you can rent an Airbnb. My father spat, furious. You're doing this out of spite because you weren't invited to a barbecue. You're going to evict your own parents over a bruised ego. I shook my head slowly. I'm evicting you over fraud, I corrected him. Asterisk. And it's not spite. Jared, arms crossed, tried to look defiant, but the color had drained from his face. Asterisk. You can't do this. I have tenants coming next week, corporate retreat. They paid $6,000 up front. I didn't flinch. You already canceled, I said. Asterisk. The listing is suspended. The refund is being processed. And I filed an identity theft report against the utility bills. The money isn't yours. It never was. Jared's phone buzzed. He pulled it out, stared, and his defiance evaporated. Asterisk. You reported me?
He whispered. Not yet, I said. The fraud charges are pending, but I have everything documented.
Asterisk. I pulled my phone from my pocket and dialed my lawyer. Asterisk. Catherine? I said. Asterisk. They're refusing to vacate? Certainly, came the crisp reply. If the occupants do not leave voluntarily within the hour, we will file criminal charges against Jared Ventures LLC for wire fraud, bank fraud, and grand larceny. The minimum sentence is 10 years. Your parents will be named as accessories if they knowingly facilitated this enterprise. The room went dead silent, the hum of the refrigerator asterisk, the wind battering the windows. 10 years. My mother gasped asterisk. She looked at Jared asterisk. My father searched for the daughter he used to know. The one who lived to please him. He didn't find her. He found a landlord. Asterisk. Pack the car.
He said, voice hollow. Dad, Jared protested. Pack the car.
Brian roared, veins bulging asterisk. Do you want to go to jail? Because she will do it. Look at her face. She will do it. Asterisk. 40 minutes later. The house was empty. Clothes and trash bags, wine bottles in their hands, catering trays scavenged. I watched. I didn't help. I didn't hinder. I just witnessed. And when the last bag was in the trunk, I closed the heavy oak door, turned the deadbolt, click asterisk, the loudest sound I had ever heard. Asterisk, and it sounded exactly like freedom. The house was silent. Asterisk, not empty. Not abandoned, but quiet in a way that felt alive. The laughter, entitlement, and false celebration had been stripped away. I walked through the empty rooms. The scuffed floors where furniture had dragged. Asterisk, the faint residue of spilled wine in the rugs, the faint scent of stale candles, ghosts of memories I had tried to buy, lingering like a cautionary tale. Asterisk. I spent the next 3 days cleaning, not for them, for me. Asterisk. I scrubbed floors until my knees ached. Asterisk. Polished windows until the salt spray disappeared, stripped beds and donated the linens. I was sanitizing a wound, preparing the patient for recovery. Asterisk. And then I made a choice. I didn't sell the house. That would have been logical, financially smart, emotionally clean. But I wasn't interested in logic anymore. I was interested in healing. Asterisk. I called my lawyer, Catherine. I'm not selling, I said. I'm donating the use of the property. Asterisk. Donating, she asked, softening, incredulous. Asterisk. To whom? To the healers, I said. Trauma nurses, doctors, first responders, people who spend their lives saving others but have nowhere to go when they themselves need saving. Asterisk. A week of silence, a week of peace, a week where no one asks them for anything. Asterisk. Her voice softened further. Asterisk. And the operating costs? Don't worry, I said. Less than supporting a family that hates me. I renamed it. No longer the cliffside estate. No longer a monument to entitlement. It was the Haven. Asterisk 6 months later, the first guest arrived. Asterisk and a nurse from Chicago. 2 years without a full night's sleep. The pandemic had taken everything. Asterisk I met her at the door. Asterisk not as a landlord, not as a benefactor, as a colleague. Asterisk as someone who understood what exhaustion and responsibility truly meant. Asterisk I handed her the key. Asterisk showed her the fridge, fully stocked. Showed her the ocean, limitless and hers. When she cried, I didn't offer empty words, I just let her cry. Because sometimes, the only way to heal is to finally be allowed to fall apart in a safe place. Asterisk meanwhile, my family tried to reach out. Asterisk when the news hit the local paper, they saw the story. Asterisk the nurse who donated her $1 million view. Praise, admiration, headlines, a potential way back in. I didn't answer. I didn't read their letters. Asterisk I had built a sanctuary. Asterisk the first rule of a sanctuary. You don't let the wolves back in. If you've ever had to cut off a limb to save the body. Asterisk if you've ever had to let go of toxic love to protect your own life. You are not broken. You are not lost. Asterisk you are finally healing.